let the tractor warm up for a few minutes. Then we're headed out to the field to plant 50 Christmas tree seedlings. We've got 25 balsam firs and 25 Fraser firs that we picked up from the NH State Forest Nursery. These are bare root seedlings. They're 4 and 0, which means they've been in a seedling bed for 4 years and never been in a transplant bed. We're going to go and put them directly into the field and see how they do. Should be all right. This is a very economical way in the state of New Hampshire to get tree seedlings. These posts here mark off our rows. There's actually more rows here than we're going to use in the fall. When I was laying this out, I was extending from what we already have down there, but weren't sure exactly how many trees we were going to get, so laid out enough rows to match up everything we had. Then I actually went down and used some weed and grass killer to kill the grass in the fall. You can see we've got some coming up here this spring anyway. But what I did is, because we have 50, what we've got is we have 2 rows that are going to be Fraser, and then 2 rows down there that are going to be balsam. Yesterday we came through, we had a string running along the row, basically from the post down there to the post behind me, and then every 6 feet painted a dot on the ground where a tree is going to be planted. What we're going to do is come through here with the post hole digger with the 9-inch auger and drill those out to give us holes to plant our trees in. we now have all the holes in the ground for the 4 rows that we're going to be planting, the 50 trees. You can see, didn't drill that deep. They're variable in depth, but ranging from a foot to a foot and a half deep on all the holes. So now we just need to go get those trees, get set up to plant them. So here are the seedlings. We're going to start with the Fraser firs. I have them in this bucket of water to keep the roots wet. Don't want those roots to dry out. That could be fatal for these trees. So we're going to pull them out one at a time and get started planting. Just holding this up to keep the right depth here. I don't want to bury it too deep. Go. Get those roots spreading out in this hole. This one's a little deep. I think because some rocks came out. All 25 Fraser firs are now in the ground. Turned out there were actually 26 in the bag, so we got a little bonus there. Now we'll go get the bag with the balsams and put those in the ground. Just to show this balsam has really long roots. And so if I go down into this hole, those roots essentially are all coiling up in the bottom. So what I want to do is trim that back, because you don't want any roots curling over and then pointing back up in the hole. That'll really hurt the tree, but it's no issue if I cut these off. What I'm going to do here is just take my pruning shears and trim these right back. So that now we just have this reasonable set of roots here. I can set this down in the hole. Those roots will spread right out. And we'll have good soil contact, and they won't hook back on each other or come back up toward the surface and cause problems. This area that I'm in right now, the soils are a little wet in the spring, which does concern me for these firs a little bit because they don't like wet feet, so to speak. I'm hoping it's going to be all right. It's only wet here in the spring, and otherwise later in the summer it's not overly wet, but maybe it'll be enough to supply nice moisture. Let's see. These balsams really do have substantial roots, more so than the Frasers did. Finding myself cutting them back more. 50 Christmas trees are now in the ground. Now we just have to let them grow and hope they survive. It is supposed to rain here over the next couple days, so I think that should really help get these trees established. Actually, we're showing chance of showers here every day for the next week. So those conditions should be good for keeping the soil nice and moist and letting those roots get established.